Running shoes, they help you run faster for longer and keep up with all the latest running trends, and they also help you to drain all of your savings from your bank account. And it's only getting worse. These are all the running shoes that I've ever worn since starting running at around the end of 2022. Now, I'm not actually sure why I've kept all these shoes. Seems like a pretty weird thing to do. I don't know. So that means that I've currently spent nearly $2,000 on running shoes over the last almost 2 years. $2,000 for the privilege of running. Lucky me. So if I do these rough calculations, it's around 46 cents per kilometre run in these shoes that I've actually spent. Why do I feel like that is such a high number? It's kind of depressing when you put it that way, that all of your money is just going in the bin after not that many kilometers. But as you can see from these shoes, I was forced to stop wearing these because they're all absolutely fucked. But here's the thing, running shoes are only getting more expensive, with each brand bringing out 40 different kinds of running shoes for each specific different requirement, and all at a premium cost. I'll show you. We got long run shoes, we got daily trainers, we got tempo training shoes, we got short distance racing shoes, all around racing shoes, everything. Fucking hell. Same with the other brands, all at a premium price. And that's quite an investment when you think about it, especially for these shoes when most of them are gonna be really, really soft and they're gonna last like 300 kilometers before they just start to feel absolutely dead. Has a 300 kilometer lifespan actually become normal in running shoes? I love these shoes. In fact, I love them so much that I actually ran 1,500 kilometers in them before I eventually retired them. And the only reason that I retired them is because the foam got so bad and so compressed that it was actually causing me injuries, which actually did cause me my ankle injury. But they were so good back in their heyday. You could do long runs in them, easy runs, tempo runs, speed runs, race runs, whatever other kind of runs there are, you could do it in them. In fact, they're so good that I went out and I bought another pair maybe a month ago, and I've been using them slowly to work myself back into running. And once again, they're so good. Will these ones last 1,500 kilometers? Probably. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But having pairs of shoes like this and realizing that shoes can actually last way longer than what you'd expect makes me realize, like, are we getting gypped by these shoe companies?
They say that I'm such a weirdo. Tattoos from my toes to my earlobes. Was a role model, I never had a hero. I learned how to live through the stereo. Coming from where I come from, the inferior. Everything you see ain't what it appears though. Everything that I built, made that from zero, then added a zero. I am my hero. You couldn't imagine what it's like in my mind. It's beauty and catastrophe.
I had to go get another pair, and only $160 at the DFO, which is really good, especially for someone like myself who doesn't want to give all of my money that I have to shoe companies. Reasons to give shoe companies all of our money, for and against. Reason number one, you need multiple pairs of shoes so they last longer. Okay, so we got all three pairs, and luckily this one is a control. 28 millimeter. So the idea behind having multiple pairs of shoes is that the foam actually needs to breathe after for some reason. I don't know where this myth came from. 24 on that one. But essentially the foam gets compressed, and then after you run in them and then you leave them for X amount of time, they'll actually kind of inflate like a ball. 27. And so this morning I measured them at around 27 mils, and then after I went running, they were 27 mils. And then just now when I measured them again, a couple of hours later, they're still 27 mils. Where's the breathing? And this makes the most sense to me because, like, if you think about it, every shoe would have a certain amount of Ks in its foam before it becomes dead. Whether you run that amount of Ks over a 1 year period or a 1 month period, they're going to be dead either way. And there's no such thing as foam breathing and stuff like that. It's all a massive myth. Reason number two, running shoe rotations reduce injury risk. Now reason number two is pretty interesting. Now there does seem to be a tiny bit of evidence that suggests that different load patterns from different shoes would actually help in reducing injury risk, because you're not getting that repetitive strain over time. You're actually varying the load pattern that you're actually putting through your body, which makes a bit of sense actually. Or maybe this is just a grand conspiracy from the shoe companies and they've actually funded this study. Though I would imagine that just changing the surface that you're running on would probably change the impact force just as much as if you just change your shoes. So that's kind of a free hack for you, just to run on different surfaces. But I will give point number 2 to the shoe companies, that maybe this actually is quite beneficial in reducing injury risk. So that's 1 point to giving all of your money to shoe companies. Reason number 3, you need multiple shoes for different surfaces. Now I don't actually rate this one at all because I actually won a trail race with 700 meters of elevation over like an 18-kilometer race with these pair of shoes at around the probably 1,000 to maybe 1,100 kilometer mark in these shoes, and these are road running shoes, so that's debunked, isn't it? Reason number 4, you need multiple shoes for different speeds. This one's a tricky one because some running shoes do actually make you way faster. I actually tested this out many months ago when I tested these compared to some daily trainers over a 1K time trial at threshold pace. And they were about 4 to 5 seconds for that kilometer faster, and I was running the exact same effort. So yes, these kinds of running shoes do make you faster. Also, wearing carbon plated shoes for like just normal workouts is an absolute crime. Reason number 5, these are the new updated shoes with brand new technology, so they must be way better than the previous one, right? Now I used the V13s of the same shoe model for like maybe 400 kilometers before I gave up because they just felt terrible. In fact, these actually felt better at 1,500 kilometers than these did brand new. Shoe companies bring out new shoes every year with different models and different fancy little like gimmicks, but at the end of the day, running shoes don't actually change much in technology year to year. The reason why running companies bring out running shoes every year with different models is because people buy them. That's the only reason why. For full retail price as well. God. So I think that puts it at about a 3-2 against giving all of your money to running shoe companies. Pretty interesting, right? And what's really interesting is that no matter what kind of shoe you buy and how much you spend, they all end up in the exact same place. Especially when talking about this abomination of a pair of shoes. A shoe that lasts 42 kilometers for $500. And I don't think that's even Australian dollars too. And for what? A slightly faster race time? Who cares? Now I'm concerned that in a couple of months' time, every different brand is going to have their own $500 pair of shoes that you can only wear once and then ends up in landfill. And then this issue with durability in shoes is going to spread down to the lower tier shoes like daily trainers and stuff. And rather than them lasting like 6 months, they're going to last like 3. So here's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm just going to keep buying cheap shoes, running them into the ground as long as I can and saving my money. Because I don't know, I just find all these new shoes just really boring.